What's up guys, Michael Kamalo here, medical student. Today I'm going to go over something that is extremely common, especially among weightlifters, and that is medial elbow pain, what is also called golfer's elbow or medial epicondylitis. First, I'm going to go over what exactly this is. Then I'm going to give you 4 things that you can do to relieve this pain so that you can get back to proper functionality. First, what is medial epicondylitis or golfer's elbow? What exactly is causing this pain? Well, the medial epicondyle is a bony part of your elbow, right here. You can actually feel it on yourself if you feel the inside of your elbow right here. And what is important to understand is that there are 5 key flexor muscles of the forearm that all insert right here on this bony part of your elbow. They are the flexor carpi ulnaris, flexor carpi radialis, flexor digitorum superficialis, the palmaris longus, and pronator teres. Now, the reason that this medial epicondyle gets inflamed and painful, especially among weightlifters, is that we overwork the flexor muscles of our forearm. If you think about it, from curls to back rows to pull-ups, all of that is primarily focused on flexing your wrists. You're bringing your arms in and overworking these flexor muscles in your forearm. What that ends up doing is putting a lot of pressure on the tendons that insert right here on this medial epicondyle. And those tendons start pulling and get tighter and tighter, and before long, you get that nasty pain on the inside of your elbow. One way to test this on yourself is to extend your arm out with your palm facing up, and then have somebody grab onto your fingers while you pull in. And if you feel any pain inside your elbow right here, you have medial epicondylitis. So now that we understand what is causing this pain, what exactly can we do to fix it? Well, I'm going to give you 4 key things that you can do. The first, because we know that it's caused by an overload of flexion in the forearm, we're going to do what a lot of people neglect, and that is work the extensors of the forearm. When's the last time you worked on those? Now, the reason they're not worked a lot is because there's not a lot of traditional lifts that work the extensors of your forearm. The main one that people do use is the reverse curls. So if you've ever gotten a barbell, a straight bar, or dumbbells and done curls with your palm facing down rather than up, then you are going to inevitably work those extensors of the forearm. So that is one of the first exercises that we're going to do to fix it. So it's pretty self-explanatory, but you're going to grab any weight here, and instead of doing a curl up with your palm facing upwards, you're going to rotate so that your palm is facing down, and you're going to curl up. The second exercise that you're going to do to correct this imbalance in the forearm muscles is a little more effective than the reverse curls, and they're what I call fingertip wrist extensions. You're going to grab the weight and let it go all the way to the end of your fingertips, and then you're going to curl your wrist backwards, movement like this. You're going to pause at the top of that to make sure you're really getting a good contraction in those extensor muscles of the forearm. You can also do it with the cable, have the cable down low, and then have the handle at the very end of your fingertips and curl your wrist backwards. Another exercise you can do to work those extensors are what I call extended wrist rolls. You're going to grab some kind of bar. As you can see here, I just have a broom handle, and while your arms are extended, roll back like this. Now, some gyms will have a apparatus where they'll have a weight hanging from a bar, and you can roll the weight up. That's excellent if you have it. If not, just grab any bar and roll your wrists backwards. The second step to alleviating the pain of medial epicondylitis is to avoid overflexion of the forearms during other lifts. Now, there's many different areas where this happens, but the one I really want to focus on is during curls. Anytime we are curling, especially a dumbbell, we have the natural tendency to curl our wrist inwards as we're bringing the weight up. In order to fix this medial epicondylitis, this overworking of the forearms, you gotta focus on keeping your wrist extended. And so when you bring it up, one way to know whether you're doing this right is if your palm is facing the ceiling the entire time. And I even like to open my hand to make sure that I'm not curling my forearm forward. So curl should look like this, keeping your palm up the entire time and not like this, okay? And not only will that avoid aggravating the medial epicondyle of your forearm, but you also get a much better workout of your bicep that way because you're not using your forearm to cheat. It's a better isolation exercise. The third step to alleviating the pain of medial epicondylitis is to actually stretch out those overworked flexor muscles of the forearm. Now, what some people try to do is just do it themselves by pulling their fingers back and extending their elbow. That'll work to some point, but there's a much more effective way to stretch those muscles. And this is what you do. You're going to get down on your hands and knees, put your palms flat on the floor, and then you're going to slowly rock forward until you get to the point where you feel as much tension as you can handle without pain in that forearm. Rock forward, leave it there for as long as you can handle, and then back. And do it between 8 and 10 times, keeping some tension at the maximal point, and you'll be able to stretch it out. Now you can also do this on the wall if for some reason you can't get on your hands and your knees. The fourth step to rehabbing your medial epicondylitis is actually to start working those flexor muscles in a pain-free way and ramp you back up to strength. Now, the way we're going to do this is in an eccentric movement. The way you do it is to grab a weight and either a chair or a bench or something that you can rest your forearm on, and then you're going to bring your wrist into an extended position with your fingers extended as well. Now what you're going to do, you're going to assist the part of flexion with your other arm, and then let go and slowly let your wrist extend. So you are resisting the downward movement of the dumbbell. That way you can start working these forearm muscles without any danger of overflexion and irritation of the medial epicondyle, because the movement is not towards the medial epicondyle, it's away from it. You're simply using those muscles to resist the movement. And the reason this is effective is because all the stretching and working the antagonistic extensor muscles are going to help, but eventually you got to start strengthening those flexor muscles in a way that doesn't bring irritation to the medial epicondyle, and eccentric load resistance is the best way to do that. So there you have it, guys. In summary, the 4 things that we're going to do to overcome medial epicondylitis and get rid of your elbow pain are: 1, overcome this imbalance by working the extensors of your forearm that are too often neglected. 2, avoid the overflexion of our forearms during exercises such as the curl, making sure that we are keeping our wrist extended. 3, we're going to actually stretch out the muscles of the forearm, the flexor muscles of the forearm. And 4, work on strengthening those flexors and getting proper blood flow to the area through eccentric flexion and lightweight works to make sure we ramp up slowly to the point where you can be doing normal workouts again. Guys, if you thought this was helpful, please leave me a like, a comment. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, either comment below or find me on Instagram at drgaines_MD, and I'll be happy to talk to you then.